Iceland, a realm of absolute contrasts, where the primal roar of volcanic fire meets the frozen silence of ancient glaciers. It is a land that breathes a living entity, forged from the chaotic collision of elements. Here, the very ground beneath your feet is not mere soil, but a volatile crust, shaped by the restless fury of the Earth's core. It is a place where the air tastes of salt and sulfur, and where every horizon feels like the dawn of a new world. For the traveler escaping the stifling concrete jungles of the modern age, Iceland is not just a destination. It is a sanctuary of raw, unfiltered existence. Close your eyes and listen. That sharp, thunderous snap you hear is the sound of a 1,000-year-old glacier shifting its weight. It is the heartbeat of the north, and that faint, pungent scent of sulfur drifting on the wind is the breath of the giants, sleeping just beneath the surface. Welcome to the laboratory of God. This is the only place on our planet where the blueprint of creation is still laid bare, where you can witness the earth being torn apart and stitched back together in a single glance. Imagine yourself standing in the Thingvellir Valley. You are positioned in a narrow, rocky chasm where time seems to stand still. To your left, the massive stone walls of the North American tectonic plate rise like an ancient fortress. To your right, the rugged edge of the Eurasian plate looms. You are standing in the no-man's land of geology, a literal crack in the world. As you stretch out your arms, you are touching two different continents at once. Beneath you, the Atlantic Ocean is trying to push its way through, widening this gap by a few centimeters every year. It is a dizzying, humbling sensation. You are witnessing the slow-motion birth of a new ocean and the relentless expansion of our world. In this year, 2026, as our cities grow louder and the digital noise becomes deafening, Iceland has transformed into the ultimate escape. It is no longer enough to just see a place we crave to feel something real again. We seek the soft life, yet we find it in the most rugged of environments. Yes, this island is famously expensive, a luxury of the spirit that requires a heavy toll on the wallet. But as you stand here, surrounded by the emerald moss that blankets the jagged lava fields, you realize that some things are beyond currency. The silence here is expensive. The purity of the water flowing from the mountains is a wealth that no city can provide. Iceland greets the modern wanderer with a paradoxical embrace. It is a wild, untamed wilderness that nonetheless feels like a homecoming. It is a place that demands respect, where the weather can change from a golden sun to a blinding blizzard in the blink of an eye. The people here have been forged by this unpredictability, developing a resilience and a quiet warmth that mirrors the land itself. They live in harmony with the hidden people, the elves, and the spirits of the rocks, acknowledging that we are merely guests in a much grander theater. You have left behind the gray smog and the relentless hum of the metropolis to stand in the shadow of volcanoes that could awaken at any moment. You have come here to find the version of yourself that hasn't been buried by emails and notifications. As the cold Atlantic wind bites at your cheeks, you don't feel discomfort. You feel alive. You feel the pulse of the tectonic plates vibrating through the soles of your boots. You are standing at the epicenter of the Atlantic, at the very edge of the habitable world, looking into the void and finding beauty. This journey we are embarking on today is not for the faint of heart. We will bypass the crowded tourist traps and the well-worn paths of the past. Instead, we will venture into the high peaks and the deep fjords, where the silence is so heavy it rings in your ears. We will explore the hidden veins of this island, from the turquoise depths of Silfra to the black sands of the south, where the waves crash with a power that can crush bone. Iceland is a mirror, It reflects our own fragility and our own strength. It is a reminder that the Earth is not a static stage, but a magnificent, terrifying process. Today we step beyond the postcards and the filtered images. We step into the raw, pulsating heart of the North. Let the smell of the Earth and the sound of the ice guide you. Let the laboratory of God reveal its secrets. Our journey through the most fascinating places on this island begins now at the point where the world breaks apart to let the light in. Follow me into the land of fire and ice, where the journey is the destination, and the destination is a rebirth. This is Iceland beyond your wildest imagination. To understand the true soul of Iceland, you must look deep beneath its fractured surface into the boiling cauldron that created it. This is not just an island. It is the visible peak of a massive underwater mountain range known as the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. While most of this colossal ridge lies hidden under thousands of feet of dark ocean water, Iceland is the rare and spectacular exception, where the Earth's skeleton rises above the waves. But why here of all places? The answer lies in a geological phenomenon known as a hotspot. Imagine a literal blowtorch of superheated magma rising from the deepest layers of the Earth's mantle, aimed directly at this specific coordinate in the North Atlantic. This mantle plume is so powerful that it has spent millions of years pumping liquid fire upward, forcing the crust to bulge and erupt until it finally broke the surface of the sea. This is the scientific reality that makes Iceland a geological anomaly. It is one of the few places on our planet where a mid-ocean ridge and a mantle plume coincide, as the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates slowly drift apart, pulling the island in opposite directions. The hotspot acts like a cosmic welder, constantly filling the growing gap with fresh volcanic rock. This means that Iceland is literally growing every single day. Every time a fissure opens or a volcano exhales, it is adding new territory to the map. You are standing on a landmass that is still being born, a place where the ink on the blueprints of the world hasn't even dried yet. It is a terrifying, yet magnificent thought that the ground beneath your boots is younger than the shoes you are wearing. But in Iceland, the fire does not rule alone. It is locked in a perpetual struggle with the ice. During the last ice age, massive glaciers over a mile thick carved deep into the volcanic bedrock, creating the jagged fjords and towering cliffs we see today. Even now, the great ice caps like Vatnajökull sit directly on top of active volcanic systems. It is a volatile marriage of extremes. When the fire beneath the ice becomes too intense, it triggers a Jökullaup, a catastrophic glacial flood that can wash away entire plains in a matter of hours. This constant tension between the searing heat of the mantle and the crushing weight of the glaciers is what has sculpted the surreal alien landscapes of this island. It is a place where you can touch a glacier in the morning and walk on a still steaming lava field by afternoon. This abundance of subterranean fury has been harnessed by the Icelandic people in a way that seems like science fiction to the rest of the world. In a time when the globe is struggling with energy crises, Iceland has found its solution in the breath of the Earth itself. Nearly 100% of the nation's electricity and heating comes from renewable sources, primarily geothermal energy. They have turned the very threat of volcanic destruction into a source of life. Deep boreholes tap into the high-pressure steam reservoirs, thousands of feet down, spinning massive turbines to power the cities. In Reykjavik, you can walk through the streets in the dead of winter and find the sidewalks clear of snow, because the pipes beneath the pavement circulate hot volcanic water. This is not just technology. It is a profound pact between a civilization and a volatile planet. For the traveler, this geothermal reality offers experiences that are found nowhere else on Earth. Beyond the famous luxury lagoons, there is a more humble and fascinating tradition that connects the kitchen to the volcano. In areas like Laugarvatn, or the shores of Lake Maivatn, the ground is so hot that it becomes a natural oven. Here, the locals practice the ancient art of baking thunderbread, or rugbrod. They take a heavy pot filled with rye dough, bury it in the black volcanic sand near a bubbling hot spring, and let the Earth's natural heat bake it slowly for 24 hours. There is something deeply spiritual about digging up your own meal from the steaming earth. As you peel back the lid, and the sweet aroma of dark molasses bread meets the cool Arctic air, you realize you are tasting the literal heat of the planet. It is a culinary collaboration with a hotspot that has been burning for 20 million years. As you travel through the geothermal fields of Haukadalur, you will see the earth gasping for air. The mud pots boil with a thick gray sludge, and the geysers like the mighty Strokor build up tension until they explode in a violent column of boiling water. It is a reminder that we are living on a thin, fragile crust, floating atop a sea of molten rock. For the American traveler used to the stability of the Great Plains or the ancient Appalachian Mountains, the restless nature of Iceland is a sensory shock. It forces you to abandon the idea that the Earth is a finished product. Here, the world is still a work in progress. The sulfurous steam that veils the landscape is the smoke from the forge of creation. In 2026, as we look for ways to live more sustainably, Iceland stands as a beacon of what is possible when we stop fighting nature and start listening to its pulse. The island's origin story is written in basalt and obsidian, and its future is being heated by the same fire that nearly destroyed it many times over. To stand here is to understand our place in the cosmos. We are small and our time is short, but we have the incredible privilege of witnessing a world that is still being built. The fire and the ice are not just metaphors for the Icelandic spirit. They are the literal ingredients of the ground you walk on, the water you drink, and the bread you eat. As we move deeper into the heart of this island, keep your eyes on the steam rising from the cracks in the road. Remember that every breath you take here is seasoned by the embers of a hot spot that refuses to go quiet. This is the raw energy of the earth unleashed, and we are just getting started. Leaving the paved safety of the ring road behind, we now turn our wheels toward the vast, desolate heart of the island, the Central Highlands. This is a place that many tourists never see because the land here does not want to be explored. It is a world of raw, obsidian black sands and mountains that look like they were painted by a divine hand. As we ascend, the air grows thin and cold, and the familiar greenery of the coast vanishes, replaced by a lunar landscape so authentic that NASA once sent Apollo astronauts here to train for the moon landing. You are now entering the realm of the F-roads, the forbidden tracks that are the only arteries into this wilderness. Our first destination is Landmannalaugar, the Pearl of the Highlands. Imagine a valley surrounded by rhyolite mountains that glow in shades of mustard yellow, burnt orange, and deep turquoise. When the sun hits these peaks, the entire landscape shimmers like a mirage. This is the result of thousands of years of volcanic activity, where the cooling lava mixed with unique minerals to create a kaleidoscope of rock. But reaching this masterpiece is the ultimate test of nerves. To get here, You must navigate roads that are little more than paths of jagged stone and deep ruffles. Most travelers from the United States are used to smooth highways and cruise control, but here, your survival depends on your ability to read the terrain. This brings us to the first rule of the Highlands. Never attempt these roads in a standard vehicle. You need a high-clearance 4x4 and a heart of steel. The most dangerous obstacle you will face is not the steep inclines, but the rivers. In the Highlands, there are no bridges over the glacial streams. You must drive your vehicle directly into the rushing water. This is where 90% of tourists fail. They see a stream and assume their rental car can handle it. But glacial rivers are deceptive. The water is opaque with silt, hiding deep holes and large boulders that can trap a tire in seconds. The current is far stronger than it looks. If you enter too fast, the water will surge over your hood and kill your engine, leaving you stranded in the freezing middle of nowhere. If you enter too slow, you might lose traction. The secret used by local experts is to drive in a slight arc downstream, following the shallowest part of the ford and never ever changing gears in the middle of the water. Further north, we reach the staggering isolation of Askja. This is a massive caldera, deep within the Dingjufjöll Mountains, born from a cataclysmic eruption in 1875 that was so powerful its ash reached Central Europe. Standing on the edge of the crater, you look down into a void filled with two lakes, the deep blue Askjuvatn and the milky teal Viti. Viti means hell in Icelandic, but for the daring traveler, it is a slice of heaven. The water in this smaller crater is naturally warmed by geothermal heat. To soak in its opaque waters, you must first scramble down a steep, slippery path into the bowels of the crater. Once you are floating in that warm, mineral-rich water, looking up at the towering rim of the volcano, you will feel a sense of isolation that is both terrifying and liberating. There is no cell service here, no gas stations, and no one to hear you scream. You are at the mercy of the elements. The journey to Askja is an odyssey through a desert of pumice and lava fields that stretch to the horizon. It is a place of absolute silence. The wind howling across the sand is the only sound you will hear for hours. For the modern American traveler seeking a soft life, Iceland's highlands are a brutal awakening. They strip away the illusions of control that we carry in our daily lives. Here, you realize that nature does not care about your schedule or your comfort. The weather can change in a heartbeat, turning a sunny afternoon into a blinding dust storm or a freezing rain that turns the black sand into a swamp. This is why preparation is not just a suggestion, it is a lifeline. You must carry extra fuel, plenty of food, and specialized offline maps because GPS often fails in these deep canyons. Why do we put ourselves through this stress? Why drive through rivers and risk our safety to reach these coordinates? Because the highlands offer a perspective that you cannot find anywhere else on the planet. They show us what the world looked like before humans tried to tame it. In Landmannalaugar, you can hike through lava fields that feel like frozen waves of a dark sea. You can smell the sulfur rising from hidden vents and see the steam dancing over the colorful peaks. It is a visual overload that resets your brain. When you finally reach a natural hot spring after a day of brutal driving and soak your tired muscles under the vast Arctic sky, the sense of accomplishment is overwhelming. You didn't just see Iceland, you survived it. As we move through 2026, the highlands are becoming more regulated to protect their fragile ecosystem. But the core challenge remains the same. The moss here takes centuries to grow, and a single tire track off the road can leave a scar that lasts for generations. This is a land of high stakes. For the traveler who respects the rules and understands the power of the water, the highlands are the ultimate reward. They are the final frontier of the North Atlantic, a place where you can stand on the edge of a volcano and feel the true scale of time. As we descend back toward the coast and leave the F-roads behind, the memory of the river crossings and the colored mountains of Landmannalaugar will stay with you forever. You have touched the heart of the fire and the ice, and you are coming back changed. But remember, the highlands only let you in if you are humble enough to ask permission from the water and the stone. Let us continue our journey toward the fjords, where a different kind of magic awaits. In the vast and unforgiving landscapes of Iceland, life has not just survived. It has mastered the art of adaptation through sheer resilience and a touch of the extraordinary. Here, the animals are as much a part of the island's soul as the volcanoes and the ice. They carry within them the DNA of 1,000 years of isolation, a purity that is fiercely protected by the people who call this rock home. To witness these creatures in their natural habitat is to see the true spirit of the North, a spirit that refuses to be tamed or diluted by the outside world. Nowhere is this spirit more evident than in the legendary Icelandic horse. As you travel through the moss-covered valleys, you will see them standing stoically against the gale force, winds their thick manes flowing like banners of war. But do not be fooled by their modest stature. There is one golden rule you must never break when speaking to an Icelander. Never ever call these magnificent creatures ponies. To do so is to deeply insult a millennium of history and a bloodline that has remained pure since the Viking Age. These are horses in every sense of the word, possessing a strength and endurance that puts larger breeds to name. For over 1,000 years, no other horses have been allowed to set foot on this island. If an Icelandic horse leaves the country for a competition, it can never return. This strict isolation has preserved something truly unique, their 5 distinct gaits. While most horses across the globe only know the walk, the trot, and the gallop, the Icelandic horse possesses 2 secret gears that feel like floating on air. The first is the tolt, a smooth 4-beat gait that is so steady a rider can hold a full glass of water without spilling a drop, even at high speeds. The second is the flying pace, a rhythmic 2-beat gait that is so incredibly fast and powerful it is often used for racing. Watching a horse shift into the flying pace across a black sand beach is like watching a jet take off. It is a display of raw prehistoric power that connects you directly to the ancient Norse riders who first brought these animals across the sea. The pride the locals feel for their horses is not just about biology, it is about a shared survival. These horses carried the nation through famines, volcanic winters, and centuries of hardship. They are the silent partners of the Icelandic identity. As we move from the valleys to the dizzying heights of the coastal cliffs, we encounter another icon of the North, the Atlantic puffin. Known affectionately as the clowns of the sea or the sea parrots. These small birds with their vibrant orange beaks and soulful eyes have become the unofficial mascots of the island. But behind their charming appearance lies a master of adaptation that spends most of its life in the brutal solitude of the open ocean. Puffins only return to land during the summer months to breed, nesting in burrows dug into the steep grassy cliffs of places like the Westman Islands or Borgarfjord or Eystrey. Watching a puffin return to its nest is a lesson in determination. They dive into the frigid depths of the Atlantic, reaching depths of up to 200 feet to hunt for sand eels. When they emerge, their serrated beaks are often crammed with a dozen shimmering fish, held perfectly in place by their specialized tongues. They then fly back to the cliffs with a frantic flapping of wings, fighting against the powerful updrafts of the ocean. They are not graceful flyers, they are survivors. In 2026, observing these birds has become a poignant experience. As the oceans warm and their food sources shift, the puffins are facing new challenges. Yet they return every year to the same rocky ledges to reunite with their lifelong mates. Their loyalty to the land is a mirror of the Icelandic people themselves. For the traveler standing on the edge of a cliff at Lathrabjarg, the puffins offer a rare moment of intimacy with nature. They are surprisingly unafraid of humans, often landing just a few feet away from quiet observers. In their presence, the noise of the modern world fades away, replaced by the sound of the crashing waves and the soft guttural purring of the birds in their burrows. It is a reminder that in Iceland, life is not about dominance, but about harmony. The flora of Iceland follows the same rule of thumb. The vast expanses of woolly fringe moss that you see carpeting the lava fields are delicate, despite their rugged appearance. This moss takes centuries to grow, absorbing moisture from the mist and providing a soft green layer over the jagged obsidian. Walking on it is a crime against nature, because a single footprint can destroy decades of growth. Even the stunted birch forests, the only trees native to the island, grow slowly, twisting their trunks to resist the constant pull of the wind. Everything here has learned to stay low, to hold on tight, and to wait for the brief, glorious window of the Arctic summer. This connection between the people, the animals, and the land is the foundation of the Icelandic soft life. It is a life lived in rhythm with the seasons and with deep respect for the creatures that share this space. Whether it is the horse that carries you across a glacial river or the puffin that greets you from a cliffside burrow, these are the true inhabitants of the island. They are the souls of the wind and the guardians of the ice. As we continue our journey, remember that we are merely guests in their kingdom. Their purity and their resilience are the greatest treasures Iceland has to offer, far more valuable than any souvenir. Let the strength of the horse and the tenacity of the puffin inspire your own path as we head toward the mysterious cultural heart of this extraordinary land. To truly feel the soul of Iceland, we must step away from the flashing lights of the tourist crowds and venture into the hidden silences where nature still guards its most primal secrets. Iconic landmarks like Skogafoss or Seljalandsfoss are undoubtedly majestic, but by 2026, they have become crowded with selfie sticks and the relentless hum of the modern world. If you crave a genuine connection, a shiver down your spine when facing pure, unfiltered beauty, follow me to the coordinates that standard maps often overlook. These are the places where the earth seems to whisper secrets intended only for those patient enough to listen. Just a short walk from the famous Seljalandsfoss lies a narrow crack in the cliffside, camouflaged by thick layers of emerald moss. Most people pass it by unaware that within that crevice is Gljufrabui, the hidden waterfall. To reach this sanctuary, you must wade through a shallow stream flowing from the rocks. The water is bone-chillingly cold, seeping through your boots, but it is a small price to pay for the revelation ahead. As you step inside, the space suddenly opens into a massive cylindrical chamber, a natural cathedral where the ceiling is the gray northern sky. From high above, a silver torrent plunges straight from the mountain peak, echoing with a thunderous sound, imprisoned in stone. The mist envelops you like a fine silk veil, and in that moment you realize you are standing inside a living entity. Being surrounded by damp, ancient rock and the roar of the falls makes you feel incredibly small, yet profoundly free. This is not a place for a quick photo. It is a place to breathe, to feel the vibration of the earth in your very marrow. But our journey does not stop at the water. To witness the true alchemy of time, we must descend into the heart of the eternal ice. The blue ice caves are ephemeral wonders, existing only for a few months during the winter and shifting their shape every single day. This is where color defies all conventional laws of physics. When you enter the belly of the Vatnajökull glacier, you are confronted with a shade of blue that the human eye can hardly believe is real. It is not the blue of the sky or the ocean. It is a deep, concentrated, and pure azure that takes your breath away. Imagine standing under a colossal arch of ice, where the weak sunlight from outside is filtered through layers of ice, hundreds of feet thick, compressed over thousands of years. This compression has pushed out every single air bubble, creating ice as clear as crystal, yet possessing the hue of a radiant sapphire. The patterns on the cave walls curve like waves frozen in mid-motion, carrying the volcanic ash of eruptions from centuries ago. Touching that cold blue wall is touching the history of our planet. The chill emanating from the ice does not make you shiver. Instead, it fills you with an absolute sense of reverence. The blue light reflecting off the dark obsidian creates a surreal atmosphere, as if you have left Earth for a distant alien world. This is the ultimate reward for the traveler seeking to escape the hustle of 2026. In a world full of artificiality and the blue light of phone screens, the natural blue of the Icelandic ice is a medicine for the soul. It reminds us that there are beauties that require no human intervention to move the most hardened hearts. The uniqueness of these caves also lies in their transience. Every year as summer approaches, these caves melt and vanish forever. The next winter, an entirely new cave will form in a different location. This makes every experience here a one-of-a-kind limited edition in a lifetime. As we move across the highlands searching for other nameless falls, you will find hot springs hidden in the middle of black deserts. At Landmannalaugar, natural hot pools lie right next to ancient lava flows. The sensation of soaking in warm, mineral-rich water while the outside air drops below freezing is a magnificent contrast. You look up at the rhyolite mountains shimmering in the sun and realize that Iceland is a masterpiece, painted with the boldest colors of creation. Our travel habits often lead us toward the safe and the predictable, but Iceland demands that you be more adventurous. Do not fear the sudden rain or the rugged roads, for they are the paths that lead to these hidden wonders. Secret waterfalls like Haifoss or Sigolduguljufur, where dozens of small streams cascade into a deep canyon, will make you believe that mythical spirits truly exist. These places have no railings, no bright signs, only you and the wild wilderness. The hospitality of Iceland is not found in five-star hotels, but in the generosity of Mother Earth, who is willing to reveal her most beautiful hidden corners to those brave enough to seek them. As the daylight fades and the northern stars begin to twinkle, you will find yourself in a vast space where time no longer has meaning. The blue of the ice still haunts your mind, and the sound of the waterfall still echoes in your ears. You have traveled through the secrets of this island, touching things the ordinary eye can barely imagine. Iceland has taught you that true beauty often lies not in the brightest places, but in the quietest corners, where the heart of the world still beats steadily beneath the ice and stone. Let the memories of surreal blue and hidden falls guide your soul in your next journeys. For once you have seen these wonders, your world will never be the same again. We continue our journey to discover how people and creatures adapt to this harsh but poetic land in the next part of our grand adventure. In the year 2026, the world has become a chaotic echo chamber of noise and constant pressure. But in the quiet corners of the North Atlantic, Iceland offers a different rhythm of existence. This is the birthplace of the soft life, a concept that goes far beyond luxury hotels or expensive spas. To live the soft life in Iceland is to surrender to the warmth of the earth, while the Arctic wind howls around you. It is about reclaiming your time and your peace in a land that values the well-being of the soul above all else. For the modern traveler, especially those coming from the high-stress environments of American cities, this shift in pace is not just a vacation, it is a profound biological reset. To truly understand this lifestyle, you must look past the famous Blue Lagoon, which has become a crowded theater of selfie sticks and prepackaged experiences. Instead, you should head toward the Sky Lagoon, perched on the edge of the Atlantic near Reykjavik. Here, the experience is designed as a ritual. You enter the warm, mineral-rich waters and swim to the edge of an infinity pool that seems to spill directly into the cold, dark ocean. The steam rises into the crisp air, obscuring the line between the water and the sky. As you follow the traditional 7-step ritual from the intense heat of the sauna to the refreshing mist of the cold fog, you feel the layers of modern anxiety simply melting away. There is no rush here. No one is checking their watch. There is only the sound of the waves crashing against the rocks below, and the profound realization that you are allowed to simply exist. But the real heart of Icelandic culture isn't found in the high-end lagoons. It is found in the local public swimming pools, or sundlaugar, that exist in every tiny village and every neighborhood of the capital. These pools are the true town squares of the nation. In a country where the weather often makes outdoor gathering impossible, the geothermally heated pool is where life happens. This is where politicians sit in hot tubs next to fishermen to discuss the news of the day. This is where families gather and where neighbors connect. For a few dollars, you can gain access to this sanctuary of warmth. There is a specific etiquette here, a shared respect for hygiene and silence that creates a sense of communal trust. As you soak in a 40-degree Celsius tub under a light snowfall, watching the locals chat quietly, you realize that this is the secret to their resilience. They do not fight the cold, they use the Earth's fire to create a space for human connection. For many travelers, particularly women of color or those traveling solo from the United States, there is a layer to the Icelandic experience that is even more precious than the warm water. It is the feeling of absolute safety. In a world where we are often taught to be hyper-vigilant, to watch our backs, and to avoid certain areas after dark, Iceland feels like a different dimension. Here, the concept of danger is almost entirely focused on nature. The weather, the waves, the volcanoes, but never the people. Imagine the liberation of being a black woman walking through the streets of Reykjavik or along a remote fjord at 2 o'clock in the morning. There is no clutching of the purse, no scanning the shadows for threats, no sudden spike in heart rate when a stranger walks by. The air is cold and the silence is deep, but the feeling in your chest is one of total peace. You are not a target. You are not an outsider. You are simply a human being moving through a safe space. This sense of security is the ultimate luxury of 2026. It allows your nervous system to finally power down. You can get lost in the music in your headphones or in the dance of the northern lights above without having to look over your shoulder. In Iceland, representation isn't just a buzzword. It is the reality of a society that has moved beyond the tensions that plague much of the West. You can blend in, or stand out, but you are always respected. This soft life extends to the way you eat and move. It is about stopping at a small roadside farm to buy fresh tomatoes grown in a geothermal greenhouse. It is about drinking water straight from a mountain stream, knowing it is the purest liquid on the planet. It is about the freedom to change your plans because the wind told you to stay put. The Icelandic people have a saying, "Peta reddest," which means everything will work out in the end. This mindset is infectious. You start to worry less about your itinerary and more about the quality of your breath. You find yourself sitting in a hot tub for 3 hours, not because you have nothing to do, but because you have finally realized that there is nothing more important than this moment. As we move through the year 2026, many are looking for a way to escape the grind of the exodus from the familiar, to find a place that feels like home, even if they have never been there before. Iceland provides that bridge. It is a place where you can be alone without being lonely. The warmth of the water and the safety of the streets create a cocoon that allows for deep reflection. You realize that you have spent so much of your life defending your space, but here the land and the people give you space to grow. When you leave the pool and step out into the cold, your skin feels tingly and alive. Your mind is clear and your spirit is light. You walk back to your guest house through the quiet streets, and the only thing you feel is a profound gratitude. You have tasted the soft life at the edge of the world. You have found a place where you can walk in the dark and find the light within yourself. This is the true magic of Iceland. It is not just the fire in the ground or the ice on the mountains. It is the peace that settles in your heart when you realize you are safe, you are welcome, and you are free. Let this feeling guide you as we move toward the final curiosities and the hidden truths of this fascinating island. Beyond the breathtaking vistas and the geological fury of the North Atlantic lies a series of facts so strange they seem like fiction. To truly understand Iceland, you must look at the small, peculiar details that make this nation a global anomaly. Here are 20 shockwaves of reality from the land of fire and ice. Number 1. Iceland is one of the only places on our entire planet where you will not find a single mosquito. Despite the abundance of lakes and wetlands, the erratic Arctic climate, and the specific chemical composition of the soil make it impossible for them to breed. You can hike the deepest valleys without ever hearing that familiar, annoying buzz. Number 2. There is not a single McDonald's in the entire country. The last Golden Arches closed their doors back in 2009 during the financial crisis, and they never returned. If you want to see the last burger ever sold here, you have to visit a museum where it remains perfectly preserved under glass. Number 3. Iceland is home to one of the world's oldest parliaments, known as the Althing. Established in the year 930 at Thingvellir, it has survived for over a millennium. This tiny island was practicing democracy while much of the world was still ruled by absolute monarchs and warring tribes. Number 4. In Iceland, the police do not carry guns. General patrol officers only carry batons and pepper spray because the crime rate is so incredibly low. It is a society built on such profound communal trust that the idea of an armed police force feels unnecessary and foreign to the locals. Number 5. Nearly 60% of the Icelandic population believes in the existence of elves or hidden people. This is so ingrained in the culture that the government often hires consultants to ensure road construction doesn't disturb known elf habitats. It is a spiritual pact with the land that transcends modern logic. Number 6. There are no forests in Iceland. While the Vikings once reported the island was wooded from the mountains to the sea, centuries of grazing and volcanic eruptions wiped them out. There is an old joke here that if you get lost in an Icelandic forest, all you have to do is stand up. Number 7. Iceland has no standing Army, Navy, or Air Force. Despite being a founding member of NATO and occupying a highly strategic position in the North Atlantic, they rely on international agreements for defense. Their primary focus remains on civil protection and search and rescue. Number 8. More than 10% of the population will publish a book in their lifetime. Iceland is a nation of storytellers with a literacy rate that is near perfect. They have a saying that everyone carries a book in their stomach. Writing is not a hobby. Here, it is a fundamental human right. Number 9. The island is home to over 30 active volcanic systems. On average, an eruption occurs every 4 to 5 years. The inhabitants don't fear the fire, they live in harmony with it, using the heat to warm their homes and the ash to enrich their stories. Number 10. Most Icelanders do not have traditional family last names. Instead, they use a patronymic or matronymic system. Your last name is your father's or mother's first name, followed by son or daughter. This means that within a single family, everyone can have a different last name. These facts are the threads that weave the complex fabric of Icelandic life. They show a nation that is fiercely independent, deeply traditional, yet technologically advanced. It is a place that rejects the status quo and embraces the extraordinary. As you move through this land, keep these curiosities in mind, for they are the keys to unlocking the true mystery of the North. Let the strangeness inspire you as we continue our descent into the deep fjords. In this raw and volatile corner of the North Atlantic, the beauty of the landscape is often shadowed by a profound and haunting fragility. As we move deeper into the heart of the island in 2026, we are forced to confront a reality that is as chilling as the wind coming off the ice caps. Iceland is melting. The grand glaciers that have defined this nation for millennia, the very architects of the fjords and valleys, are retreating at a pace that is visible to the naked eye. This is no longer a distant scientific prediction, but a daily experience for those who live in the shadow of the ice. We are witnessing the slow-motion sunset of a frozen era, and the consequences are echoing across the black sand beaches and the rising sea levels. A few years ago, the people of Iceland gathered for a ceremony that the world had never seen before, a funeral for a glacier. They hiked to the site where the Ökjökull glacier once stood, a massive body of ice that had persisted for centuries, but the ice was gone, replaced by barren rock and a small plaque addressed to the future. It was a letter of apology, a warning that the glaciers are the first to fall in a changing world. Today, Vatnajökull, the largest ice cap in Europe, is losing billions of tons of ice every year. As these glaciers die, they release ancient meltwater that carries the sediment of thousands of years, forever altering the chemistry of the coast. This is the paradox of Iceland in 2026. It is a place where you come to see the eternal, only to realize that even the mountains of ice have an expiration date. Nowhere is this tragic beauty more evident than at the famous Diamond Beach. For years, this has been a place of pilgrimage for travelers, seeking to see the massive chunks of ice that wash up on the jet-black sands, glistening like diamonds in the sun. These icebergs are the remnants of the Breiðamerkurjökull glacier, breaking off and floating through the Jökulsárlón lagoon before being swept out to sea and pushed back onto the shore by the tide. But the diamonds are shrinking. As the glacier retreats further inland, fewer icebergs are reaching the ocean. The beach that was once crowded with towering sculptures of crystal-clear ice is slowly becoming a vast expanse of empty black sand. To walk here now is to feel the weight of what is being lost. Each small fragment of ice melting into the sand is a piece of a history that will never be written again. But the changing climate is not the only danger that lurks at the edge of the world. For the American traveler used to the predictable tides of the Atlantic or Pacific coasts, the shores of Iceland hide a lethal secret. At Reynisfjara, the world-famous black sand beach near the village of Vik, the beauty of the basalt columns and the roaring surf carries a deadly price. This is the home of the sneaker wave. Unlike normal waves that follow a predictable rhythm, a sneaker wave is a massive sudden surge of water that can appear without warning even on a calm day. It reaches much further up the beach than the previous waves, moving with a force that is impossible to resist. In recent years, many tourists, particularly those from the United States, who underestimate the power of the North Atlantic, have lost their lives here. They turn their backs on the ocean to take a selfie or stand too close to the waterline to capture the perfect shot, only to be swept away in an instant. The water here is not just cold, it is paralyzing. The undertow is so powerful that even the strongest swimmer cannot fight it. There are no lifeguards here, only the warning signs that too many people ignore. Iceland does not have fences or barriers to protect you because the people here believe in personal responsibility and a deep respect for the elements. They know that nature is not a theme park. It is a wild, untamed force that does not offer second chances. If you do not listen to the wind and the sea, the land will take what it wants. Survival in Iceland in 2026 requires a shift in mindset. It is about realizing that your safety is your own hands. It is about understanding that the moss is delicate, the ice is thinning, and the ocean is hungry. As the glaciers retreat, they create new hazards, like unstable ice caves and hidden crevasses that can swallow a traveler whole. The soft life we seek here is only possible if we acknowledge the hard reality of the environment. We must move with humility and awareness, respecting the boundaries that the earth sets for us. As the sun sets over the retreating ice and the waves continue to batter the black cliffs, we are reminded that Iceland is a place of constant transition. It is a land that is being reborn, even as parts of it are dying. The disappearance of the glaciers and the danger of the shores are parts of the same story, a story of a planet that is shifting beneath our feet. For the traveler, this is the ultimate lesson. We are not just observers of the landscape, we are part of its survival. We must carry the memory of the glacier's funeral and the power of the sneaker waves back home with us. We must let the fragility of this island change the way we look at our own world. Iceland is a warning, a beauty, and a challenge all at once. It asks us to be better guests, to be more vigilant, and to love the world enough to protect what is left. Let the roar of the surf at Reynisfjara be a reminder to stay grounded and to never turn your back on the forces that created us. The journey continues, but the stakes have never been higher. As you stand on the edge of a jagged cliff, looking out over the Atlantic, you might find yourself wondering how a place so raw and untamed could ever feel like a permanent home. In the year 2026, the dream of the American exodus has shifted from tropical beaches to the stark, mystical safety of the North. Many travelers coming from the high-pressure environments of the United States are no longer just looking for a week of sightseeing. They are looking for a back door to a life that actually makes sense. But the first question that always arises like the steam from a geothermal vent is the cost. Is Iceland truly as expensive as the rumors suggest? The short answer is yes. But the reality is far more nuanced when you understand the hidden economy of the island. For the American traveler, your strongest weapon against the high cost of living is a small yellow sign featuring a pink pig. This is Bonus, the budget supermarket chain that serves as the lifeline for locals and savvy travelers alike. While a meal at a mid-range restaurant in Reykjavik might cost you $70 a trip, to Bonus can feed you for a week for the same price. This is where you learn to bypass the imported luxuries and embrace the local staples, like high-quality skyr, artisanal bread, and the freshest butter on the planet. By shopping where the locals shop and preparing your own meals in a guesthouse kitchen, you can effectively cut your daily expenses by 60%. It is the first step in transitioning from a tourist to a resident mindset, learning to value the quality of the ingredients over the prestige of the dining room. This leads us to the growing phenomenon of remote work in Iceland. By 2026, the island has become one of the most coveted hubs for digital nomads and tech professionals from the United States. The reasons go far beyond the fast fiber optic internet that reaches even the most remote fjords. It is about the quality of the life you are working for. In the States, we are often trapped in a cycle of earning to spend. But in Iceland, the landscape provides the entertainment for free. Your backyard is a national park, and your evening commute is a walk under the northern lights. The Icelandic government has recognized this trend, offering long-term remote work visas that allow Americans to stay for up to 6 months or more, provided they meet certain income requirements. For many, the decision to relocate, even temporarily, is driven by a desire for a soft life that feels sustainable. In the US, the cost of safety, health, and peace of mind is skyrocketing. But in Iceland, these things are woven into the social fabric. Yes, a gallon of gas or a cocktail at a bar will cost you more than in New York or Los Angeles. But the trade-off is a society where you never have to pay for a gym membership because the mountains are your playground and you never have to worry about the safety of your neighborhood. The value of the US dollar may fluctuate, but the value of a night of undisturbed sleep is a currency that never devalues. The exodus of 2026 is not just about tax breaks or cheaper housing. It is about escaping the mental fog of a culture that never stops. In Iceland, you are forced to stop. You are forced to wait for the storm to pass. You are forced to look at the horizon. American remote workers find that their productivity actually increases here because the distractions of consumerism are replaced by the inspiration of the wilderness. They are trading the noise of the subway for the silence of the glacier, and they are finding that they don't need nearly as much as they thought they did to be happy. If you are considering making this island your temporary or permanent base, the key is integration. The Icelandic people are welcoming, but they value those who respect their traditions and their environment. Learn a few words of the language, understand the importance of the local swimming pool as a social hub, and never complain about the weather. To live here is to accept that you are not in control. And for an American used to being the master of their universe, this is the most liberating lesson of all. As you look at your bank account and your bucket list, remember that Iceland is an investment in your sanity. It is a place where you can optimize your life by simplifying your needs. Whether you are staying in a camper van for a month or renting an apartment in the colorful streets of Reykjavik, the island will change your relationship with money and time. You will start to see that the most expensive things in life aren't the ones with a price tag, but the ones that require a clear mind and a steady heart to enjoy. The call of the North is growing louder for a generation of Americans who are tired of the grind. Iceland offers a sanctuary where the air is clean, the water is free, and the future feels as vast as the black sand beaches. It is a land that asks you to bring your skills, but leave your stress behind. As we move closer to the end of our journey, take a moment to calculate the true cost of your current life and ask yourself if it might be time to trade the concrete for the basalt. The exodus is happening, and the laboratory of God is open for those who are ready to work to live rather than living to work. Let the wind of the North guide your next move as we prepare to see how this island connects to the even more mysterious reaches of the Arctic. When you stand at the northern edge of Iceland, staring out at the gray, rhythmic swells of the Arctic Ocean, you feel an invisible pull from the horizon. It is the call of lands even more primal, more desolate, and more unforgiving than this island of fire and ice. For those nomadic souls who have fallen in love with Iceland's infinite silence, the journey cannot end here. To truly touch the limits of our planet and understand the definition of absolute solitude, you must cast your gaze further north and west towards Svalbard and Greenland. These are not just next stops on a map. They are the final chapters in the epic saga of human survival at the threshold of the void. Many wonder why, if they already love Iceland, they are compelled to set foot in Greenland. The answer lies in the stark, brutal contrast between these two worlds. If Iceland is a brilliant geological laboratory filled with silver waterfalls and neon green moss, Greenland is a colossal frozen fortress where time has been locked away for millions of years. Greenland has no smooth asphalt roads or cozy cafes around every corner. It is a land of absolute zeros. No roads connecting towns, no compromises with humanity. If Iceland gives you the feeling of a stroll through majestic nature, Greenland throws you into a literal war for survival, where every breath carries the razor-sharp chill of icebergs as large as skyscrapers. The most striking difference lies in the very soul of these two lands, the ice. In Iceland, we are painfully witnessing the death of the glaciers. The ice tongues are retreating, leaving behind beautiful but melancholic sights like Diamond Beach, where fragments of history melt silently into the black sand. Ice in Iceland is an entity in retreat, surrendering to rock and soil. But in Greenland, ice is the absolute sovereign. The Greenland ice sheet is so massive that it holds enough water to raise global sea levels by 7 meters. Here, the ice does not melt quietly. It roars. At the Ilulissat Ice Fjord, you will hear the sound of massive bergs calving from the mother glacier, a thunderous explosion echoing across the vast expanse, reminding us of a terrifying natural power that humans have never, and will never, tame. Venture even further north, and we reach Svalbard, the kingdom of the polar bear. This is where life exists at its thinnest margin. In Longyearbyen, the world's northernmost town, humans live in a strange harmony with darkness and extreme cold. Here, you cannot leave the town limits without a rifle to defend against the white lords of the Arctic. Svalbard is a land of total silence, where the air is so pure you can see mountain peaks hundreds of miles away. For the American traveler in 2026, seeking an escape from the relentless noise of modern life, Svalbard and Greenland are not just tourist destinations. They are massive spaces for meditation. There, every petty worry of daily life becomes small and meaningless before the eternity of snow-capped ridges and frigid currents. The harshness of Greenland also lies in how humans adapt. The Inuit have lived here for thousands of years, not by fighting nature, but by becoming a part of it. They teach us that true strength is not in changing the world, but in understanding it. While Iceland is becoming more modern and accessible, Greenland maintains its distance and its mystery. It is a land for those who dare to face themselves in total solitude. The sensation of standing on a small boat, weaving through sapphire blue icebergs under the midnight sun, is an experience that will completely recalibrate your value system. You will realize that this world is far larger and wilder than we ever dared to imagine. The journey connecting Iceland to these northern reaches is a transition from awe to reverence. If Iceland teaches you to love the beauty of the earth, Greenland and Svalbard teach you how to respect life itself. This is where the soft life is truly tested. There is no comfort of man-made hot springs, only the warmth found in the resilience of the human spirit. When you see the northern lights dancing over the eternal ice fields of Greenland, you will understand why you had to come. It is the beauty of the last wild frontier on the planet, a beauty that requires no human validation to shine. Let the cold of Greenland seep into your soul to see that at the end of the world, life remains brilliant and proud in its own way. We will carry this silence with us when we return, finding our hearts wider and stronger than ever before. As we reach the final destination of this journey, looking back at the black basalt cliffs worn by the restless tides, and the glaciers melting in a profound, silent retreat. One truth becomes clearer than ever before. Iceland is not a place you simply visit to see, to snap a few photos, and then leave behind. It is a land that demands to be felt with every fiber of your heart and soul. What we have just experienced is not merely a tour through geographical coordinates. It is a pilgrimage back to the most primal version of ourselves. Here, amidst the volcanic fury and the absolute stillness of eternal ice, every layer of modern 2026 existence is stripped away, leaving you with a new clarity about your place in the vast universe. Standing before the infinite grandeur of Iceland, you realize that you cannot conquer nature. You can only learn to harmonize with it. You have felt yourself as small as a grain of sand, standing between two tectonic plates, and you have felt yourself as strong as a warrior, crossing the frigid streams of the highlands. This is the place to redefine yourself. You are no longer an individual trapped in phone notifications or the financial pressures of a distant America. You are part of the Earth's breath, a witness to a creation process that is still unfolding. Iceland teaches us that fragility is a type of strength, and that solitude is often the most precious medicine for finding true freedom. The memories of the sapphire blue ice caves, the pungent scent of sulfur from the Earth's core, and the steadfast gaze of the northern horse will stay with you forever. They are reminders that this world still holds untamed corners where magic exists in every stone and every gust of wind. You will carry the silence of the white nights and the warmth of the geothermal springs into your daily life, turning them into an internal source of strength to face any storm. Once you have touched the soul of this island nation, a part of you will forever belong to the moss-covered lava fields and the deep black shores. Now, as the ethereal sun slowly sinks toward the northern horizon, it is time to close this chapter of our journey. But this is not an end. It is the beginning of a new chapter in your spirit. Carry with you the humility and compassion that this land has bestowed. Live a true soft life, where inner peace is the ultimate value, much like the way Icelanders smile in the face of a blinding blizzard. We leave this island not to return to who we were, but to start a new path with fresh eyes and a heart full of reverence for Mother Nature. Farewell. Iceland, the land of the impossible. Thank you for reminding us what it truly means to be alive. The people here have a brief farewell that carries deep sincerity and blessings for the journeys ahead. Bless, bless. But as we drift away from the fjords of Iceland, have you ever wondered about its sibling across the ocean? A place where majestic mountains don't rise from lava, but were carved by colossal glaciers from the Ice Age, creating some of the deepest and purest water labyrinths in the world. Do the spirits of Viking warriors and the power of Norse gods await us in Norway? Join me as we prepare for a new expedition, where nature is even more grand than you can imagine. Our ride has only just begun. I will see you in the land of the legendary fjords.